We all know the true meaning of Christmas and why it is celebrated. But today, Fluff and I want to share with you the origin of Santa Claus. Now, the Dutch brought this term to America when the settlers came, and it was actually called Sinterklaas. But in 1809, it gained popularity when Washington Irving wrote about it, and then also Clement Seymour in 1823 wrote A Visit from St. Nicholas, better known as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. So I wanted to share a couple of little books with you and some origin about Santa Claus. So this is the book that I read to my children when they were younger. It belonged to one of them, and it has a lot of words of the poem of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas with very few pictures. But I want to share the book with you that I got when I was growing up. It's from 1969. I was 3 years old when I received this, and it is Clement Seymour's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And it had velvet that you could feel on Santa's little outfit, and I loved this book. But it is still in relatively good condition. So I wanted to share this with you today in honor of Christmas. Clement Seymour's poem, originally published anonymously, became a key moment in cementing the popular image of the jolly, plump Santa Claus with a sleigh and reindeer. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. And I always loved this little mouse sleeping on the present. That was one of my favorites. The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And I always wondered why this little boy had bare feet when it was so cold and it was so Christmassy that they had to wear the hats. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutter and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each tiny hoof. As I drew my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew, like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The book is worn. I added some packing tape to hold the binder on, but is still one of my most prized possessions. Thank you all for joining me this December for Vlogmas. We will return to regularly scheduled videos on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and on Saturdays at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time with our content of frugal living, money-saving tips, nostalgia, sometimes back to the Depression era, and more. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in the next video.